We have a lovely day here in Daytona Beach, Florida, to be having this Season 6 opener for FireLynx Racing Network's Pepsi Cup Series. As now we look at the race info, it's going to be a 15-lap race with halfway points at lap number 7. And of course, being a drafting track of Daytona, you have to watch out for the big one. Now the pace car rolls off, and we are looking to go green. Here we go. The car is rolling to the start-finish line now. It is green flag in the air. Chase Elliott leads him to the line. Now going into turn number 1, it's Chase Elliott getting pushed by the 77 of Josh Bilicki. That inside line moving forward faster than Bubba Wallace on the outside as the 9 car takes a 1.5 car length lead down the back straightaway. So we see the entire field fly by as Chase Elliott continues to hold the lead. Josh Bilicki holding that second spot. Almirola in third on that inside, tucked in nicely. These top 3 are pulling away from the rest of the field just a little bit as all of the Joe Gibbs drivers have fallen to the back and they are all in the interstate battery schemes. These spotters must be having a nightmare trying to keep track of those cars, especially all grouped together like that. Now back to the front of the field, and it is a train on the inside and then 3 wide in the middle of the pack, as it is very chaotic back there in the middle of the pack, but Chase Elliott continues to hold the lead as the first 3 cars are strung out single file on the inside. Now Almirola moves to the middle lane. Here comes Joey Logano, but the 41 is all the way up on the outside moving as well. Almirola in the middle lane now jumps to the high lane, and he's going for the lead here. The 10 car steals the lead away going into turn 3, but now the Josh Bilicki gives Chase Elliott another shove going down into turn number 4. They are 3 wide all the way through the field right now. Only the top 4 are double file, and now that's changed. Only the top 2 are double file. And now Almirola's gapped Chase Elliott for the lead in the middle lane, but no room to squeeze to the bottom as Almirola gets loose. Chase Elliott continues to try to fight hard on the bottom, but is not getting the run he needs as it is 3 wide all the way back through the field, and then the Joe Gibbs car is hanging out in the back along with Tyler Reddick. Now it's the 14 car of Chase Briscoe up in the high lane stealing the lead as it is 3 wide for the lead with Almirola and Chase Elliott, and now the 38 gives a massive shot to the 14 as he's way out in the lead and drops down to the bottom. What an aggressive hit as Austin Cindrix popped into the second spot on the bottom lane. But now the 38 and the 34, the front row teammates, are pushing to the lead, being pushed by Ryan Preece. That middle lane gets a huge boost, and now they fall down to the bottom. Can the middle lane continue to get a run? Here comes Ryan Preece in the 41. A huge run by the middle lane. They'll pull up beside the leader and take the lead. Joey Logano and Ryan Preece take the lead from the middle lane, and Joey Logano ducks down low, looking for the lead as front row will try to push him back up through. The middle lane seemed dominant for many laps in a row there, and now Joey Logano goes back up to the middle to block a run, but front row gets one on the bottom. The 38 car once again back to the lead. Todd Gilliland running away with the lead here, starting to pull ahead just a little bit with help behind him from his front row teammate, Michael McDowell in the 34. And that is the halfway break. No break, we keep running, but the 38 scores the halfway mark as the leader. Joey Logano trying to recuperate a run for the middle, and that's a huge block by the 38. Lucky he didn't get turned off the 22's nose as they rock the high lane now. The 34 down on the bottom still. Ryan Preece trying to do something in the middle. The 38 throws a dangerous block down to the bottom. His teammate lets him in. It's Joey Logano in the middle lane being pushed by Austin Dillon, but no help out back. Right now the 2-car tandem's going to be enough, and Jimmy Johnson gets behind the 3-car, pushes him to the lead. The 3-car now in the lead in the middle lane. Joey Logano down on the bottom is fading. Jimmy Johnson up to second as they all swap down to the bottom. It's the 3, 48, and then the 8 car up at the lead at the bottom lane. It's been a very clean Daytona race now. We now have a caution in the back, and it's Harrison Burton up and over. We have to take a look back at how exactly it happened, but Harrison Burton has flipped up and over at the back of the pack here at Daytona. What a huge incident after such clean running. Austin Dillon, Jimmy Johnson, and Kyle Busch remain your top 3. Joey Logano and the 62 machine will round out your top 5. And it looks like in the back they were running 3 wide. The 51 gets into the 21. He gets spun around, and the second he goes sideways, the air picks up under that flat body of the car and spins him up into the air. He will remain on his roof, no flipping, nothing too violent. He just turns over and spins around on his top and comes to rest. Not a violent flip for the 21, but still up in the air anyways. So if wreck comes to pass, it is all cleaned up. Lap 13 of 15 is where we will restart this race. Only 3 laps to go as Austin Dillon and Jimmie Johnson go dead even off the line. Austin Dillon rocking that bottom lane, getting pushed by his RCR teammate of Kyle Busch. Joey Logano pushing the 84 car, the legacy motor entry of Jimmie Johnson, as William Byron makes his name heard for the first time today up in the top lane. Jimmie Johnson now goes down to the bottom. Joey Logano in the middle now gets past, and William Byron will actually lead that lap here at Daytona. And Austin Dillon spins. Michael McDowell spins in the middle. Hamlin hard into the 5. It is a big wreck at the back of the pack. Somehow only 4 cars collected total. This could have been a disastrous wreck as we were running 3 wide the whole way through. Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson both out of this race. Kyle Larson's super speedway luck continues as that was a big hit by the 11 car. The 5 with nowhere to go. The 34 was spun out to the bottom, but he looks to have damage that will knock him out of this race as well. Such a shame for a car that was running near the front the entire time. And it turns out Ricky Stenhouse Jr. will also be out of this race. He spun down as well, collected with just enough damage to eliminate him, it seems. None of these cars ended up rolling off. And William Byron, followed by Joey Logano, Jimmie Johnson, Austin Cindric, and Todd Gilliland will be your top 5 coming to this next restart. Man, look at this replay of this wreck. The 31 car also got involved and spun, but he was able to get going. Austin Dillon spun, but he's going to be okay. Looking at Denny Hamlin's hit, he was hard enough to get into the air just a little bit as well. Looks like the 18 car, the Joe Gibbs Racing 18, is also going to be collected and in the pits at least. Austin Dillon in the pits as well. It seems like they have a shot to get going. Chase Briscoe as well in the pits, hopefully for repairs, but it could be race ending as well. It is not guaranteed that they will return. Justin Haley in the 31 on pit lane, the 62 car also on pit lane. Many cars collected. Only 4 cars couldn't even refire their engines, and now we'll have an overtime restart with William Byron on the inside, Joey Logano on the outside, Austin Cindric behind Joey Logano, Jimmie Johnson behind William Byron, and it is a green flag with 2 laps to go in this overtime restart. William Byron getting a push on the bottom lane. Now Joey Logano getting a big run on the top. But it's going to stall out, and Joey Logano's around on the back straightaway. And we've got a big incident on the back stretch. It's at least 10 cars on the back straightaway. All of the rest of the Joe Gibbs drivers have been taken out. The 18 actually refired and was collected again. That is a lot of interstate battery carnage on the back straightaway. Joey Logano, Daniel Suarez, Ross Chastain, all involved and out of the race. Both Trackhouse entries were collected in that one. Then we have the 17 who's also out. Kevin Harvick in a beautiful Busch Light Apple car. That is a shame that the 4 cars out of this race. Cole Custer, Ty Gibbs out of this race. Christopher Bell, Bubba Wallace. So many good, fast Toyotas involved in this wreck. Such unfortunate luck for those who had stayed at the back all day. The 51, the 91, all of the Trackhouse truly was involved in this. Martin Truex Jr., the 18 Interstate Batteries car. What a ferocious wreck at the back of this pack. Your top 5 now is William Byron, Jimmie Johnson, Todd Gilliland, Austin Cindric, and the 42 car. All in your top 5 as this wreck on the back straightaway was ferocious. We had Daniel Suarez get turned into the outside wall in the back. Joey Logano turned into the outside wall by his own teammate, Austin Cindric, towards the front of the pack. Ryan Blaney is stuck in the pits in his Pennzoil Menard scheme. What an unfortunate break for the 12 car. Such an unfortunate break for all of these cars. Now we have restart number 2, overtime number 2. William Byron and Jimmie Johnson share the front row. Todd Gilliland and Austin Cindric share row number 2. Green flag is out, and Jimmie Johnson gets a huge push off the start, goes down to block the inside lane, but it's Austin Cindric who's going to continue a charge in the middle lane. Alex Bowman behind him. Then it's the only Toyota left, Tyler Reddick, in the third. They all drop to the bottom. And it looks like we are going to get to the white flag mercilessly. This race will finish. It is going to be Austin Cindric in the lead, but he gets bumped loose, and he's into the wall hard. Up into the air. Alex Bowman hits him. We're going to stay green. Unbelievably, everyone gets past. Those cars stranded in turn 1 as Josh Bilicki's in the lead. In the 14 and the 10, ferocious incident. The 10's nose completely torn off, and it's the 77 of Josh Bilicki. And he wins by several seconds before Tyler Reddick. crosses the line. Those are the only two that I've seen come across the line so far, but it is Josh Bilicki, who is your Daytona 500 winner in the Spire 77 car. Austin Cindric and Alex Bowman taken out in turn 1, both sitting in the infield. A hard crash for both of those cars. And then a massive incident involving what looks to be the rest of the field. Eric Almirola's car severely damaged, the front nose completely torn off. Eric Jones and the Guns N' Roses car not protected by Ethan's musical bias. He is also collected. The 24 of William Byron. It looks like the 62 car collected again. There is a wheel in what appears to be the infield of the track, potentially over the wall past the catch fence. It's hard to tell from this shot in particular, but Eric Almirola's car, unbelievably damaged. The front nose sitting atop the banking in turn number 3. A tire sitting beside it. Unbelievable damage to the Stewart-Haas entry. The 50, the 3, the 31, the 6, the 9. So many cars taken out just sitting in the bottom of turn 3. Chase Elliott perilously close to Lake Lloyd. Another car almost submerged in the lake after so many years without that being the case. Jimmy Johnson gets collected late, as well as the 14 of Chase Briscoe. All collected. In fact, it's easier to count the drivers who actually did cross the line. Looking back now, Cindric. Oh, it's Bilicki who gets into the 48, collecting the 2 car up into the wall on the outside. The 2 car gets massive air. And then the 14 tries to go for a move that just isn't there. Reddick was collected. It looks like the 10 actually smashed into the catch fence multiple times with that front end, tearing it off completely.